Hey, beautiful people. Gene Williams here, and welcome to Unbreakable Souls. Man, we have a show that, man, it's raw and it's in the moment. We're going to talk about the trauma of grief and loss. Um, and man, as always, my brother, um, man, I just want to invite my brother into the room, Coach G. Still got to do your shoulders though, Coach G.
Hey, what's up, my man?
Hey, brother, how you doing, man?
Just in the moment, as you said, man. I'm in the moment.
Yeah,
Um, I know today was supposed to be financial trauma
right.
for us. I can't even think right now what episode we're on, but
Yeah, right, right.
um, I've struggled all week with preparing for this.
Yeah,
Just really knowing that today is Mother's Day or tomorrow's Mother's Day, so
right.
that's consumed my heart. So,
Yeah,
um, that's where I've been, man, all
yeah,
week.
right. Yeah, I understand, man. Like we were saying, in the backstage, there's nothing like the loss of your mother. I mean, your father is, losing your father is traumatic as well, but the mother is like that. That's just a whole different thing. And again, I send you my love. I send you, a lot of prayers, through this time.
Yeah, thank you, bro. I appreciate you. Um, I and just for you guys to know, I was gonna cancel today. I'd already canceled today. Sent Gina a message and was like, "Bro, I can't do it because I'm struggling today." But I thought about what we've been sharing over the past few weeks, and that would have been a lie if I wasn't authentic today.
Yeah,
And we talked about facing our fears and not running away from things, but stepping right into them. Being a man and dealing with our feelings, even though they're hard, but dealing with
right,
them face to face, head on, mano a mano, and not pushing them down. So
right.
um, that's why I'm
And
here,
for that, I'm
man.
proud of you. And for that,
Yeah,
I'm very proud of you. I'm very proud of you for doing that. A lot of people, I probably would have, canceled it and would have stuck to it. So
no,
I
you
probably,
wouldn't have.
Hey,
you're right.
Coach,
I probably would have at first.
Coach, I just want to add, my heart really goes out to you and everything because, as you know, I am very close to my own mom, and definitely is a
Yeah,
person that I have a great deal of respect for. And like I said, Mother's Day is tomorrow, and actually, my mother's birthday is on May 24th, and I still go to mom, even though I'm in my early 60s. I still go to mom for advice, and I'm not gonna lie, I go to mom sometimes when I need some financial aid or some other aid as well, because definitely that mom bond is there, and I'm definitely one that is very close to my mom. I mean, close to my dad as well. Matter of fact, he just had some heart valve surgery to see what's going on with his valve. It was like a preliminary kind of exploratory thing, but that's going on, and we're trying to figure out what's going on and happening in that space. Nobody doesn't have to have open heart surgery or anything along those lines, but I can only feel what it would be like to lose, as Dean was saying, a mother, because that mother figure is very strong, and it's been those women figures in my life have been strong. My grandmother was definitely, both of my grandmothers were definitely somebody that I had a great deal of respect for. So the fact of what you're going through, I can definitely have empathy. That's the word that a lot of people talk about. I can relate to that and everything, because I can only imagine what it would be like every time that mom was telling me that it might be skin, or she's had to go to a couple of doctor appointments as well. You're always afraid that that will be the last time that you talk to her. And as I was telling a friend of mine, one thing that I do regularly is every time that I talk to my mom, and I knew that you probably did this as well, is it whether it's me telling her that I love her, or she telling me that me telling her that I love her, or vice versa. We always end with that message of the fact that we love each other and all in that space. And I hope that everybody that has got a mom in their life, or even a mom figure, that they are letting them be known how much they care for them, because you never know when that last time that you'll be able to say that, and you don't want to have those regrets in your life that you didn't say how much you loved your parents. And it seems to me like, hey, I'm going to admit it, I'm a mama's boy to some degree and everything along those lines. I definitely have a great deal of respect for the man in my life too, but definitely have some mama boy kind of qualities as well.
well, to both of your points, first of all, I want to say thank y'all, man. Um, that means the world. Um, I mean, I didn't want to be selfish today and make today about me, because Mark and Gene, to your both of your points, I know the relationships are strong that you have with your mothers, that your both of your mothers are living, and I didn't want to steal from that thunder, and take away from the celebration that you're going to have with your moms tomorrow. Because man,
That's great, brother.
I would give. It's been 3 years. And I would give anything to have another hour with her. Um, to both your points, talking about your best friend and someone who understood you. I think one of my greatest fears is, Lord, will I ever encounter another woman that knows me, that understands me, that gets me, that senses me, feels me the way that my mother did? Because there were moments that I didn't even have to say a word. I just walk in and she'd just come here. And I'd sit down next to her or sometimes at her feet, and she'd rub my head or just put her hands on my head, lay hands on, and just pray. And sometimes just sit there next to her and just be quiet. And she didn't have to say a word, but in the silence, she spoke volumes. So I didn't want to take away from both of you guys today, knowing the relationships you have with your mother, but I wanted to honor my mom by showing strength today. And as I fall apart in the midst of the show, I want to honor her by stepping up to the plate and being here and doing this today. So I've been good all week until I got up this morning and did some stuff, ministry stuff, and then went down to City Market to get some flowers, to put on her grave. I don't know if you can see that.
It's beautiful. Yeah, I see.
Yeah. For tomorrow, I wanted to take them out there to lay on her gravesite, but her and Dad are right next to each other. So it's beautiful. But that got me moving in a way that I was like, no, I've been strong all week. And
But
seeing all the other sons with their mothers and daughters with their mothers out there today just kind of broke me. And it
but
was so
Coach,
real.
yeah,
Go ahead.
Coach G, just along those same lines, they're never far apart from you, because I can tell you, as I'm looking at those flowers, that my grandmother on my mom's side and everything, she passed away many decades ago, and all along those lines. But I know for a fact that mom and even her two remaining sisters and everything, they will oftentimes go and put flowers on the gravestone, even though they've been gone for a long time. But in my mind, and this is just me and kind of my ancestral beliefs and everything, I think that they are still with us. And I would say that your mom is still with you as well, even though they're not physically in our presence. I think that they oftentimes guide us on this journey that we call life and everything. So sometimes they are guiding us even from another place. Some people might call it heaven, they might call it another dimension, whatever you want to call it and everything. But definitely, I think that they are still guiding us in everything, because I sometimes know that I'm hearing my grandmother's voice sometimes when we're doing shows, and I'm sure that even some of the shows that we've done in the past, you've probably heard your mom's voice, your mom's wisdom that she passed on to you, and all along those lines. So I think that their presence is with us even when they are not physically there. Because like I said, I just know for a fact that I want to say it was a couple of weeks ago, because they go to regularly, my aunt and to my mom, up to the family church, and near the family church is the family graveyard, and they will oftentimes sit there and put new flowers or new things, and they'll even do like you were saying. They will literally have a conversation while they're there and say what's going on in their life and what's happening and what's going both right and wrong in their life, and hoping to get some of that divine inspiration and some of that divine advice.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. She's there with you every step now. Like, when we go away from our parents, like they could be in a different state or whatever, they're separate, but now she's with you every single step. So just know that, like, every breath you take, she's there. She's there and you know, over your shoulder, giving you that advice that she always would.
Yeah.
Always laying her hands on you, you know, giving you blessings and just helping you process and work through things. She's still there. She's still there. I know.
I appreciate that. I know. I appreciate that.
Coach, I do have to teach you though and everything, because sometimes when I say that they are there, I sometimes think that they also give us advice when we are wanting to step in the wrong direction as well. Because I'm sure there have been a couple of times that you were sitting there talking to a young lady and that voice in your head, which might have been that voice from your mom, was saying, "Not today, not in this family." So it was giving you that blocking attitude. But she was already over there in another dimension, in another space, going like, "I don't think that's the one," and she was probably giving you that message and everything.
Oh man, yeah, right. Run
fast.
No,
man, thanks. I needed that laugh, man. Mark, I appreciate that.
But I think you did that laughter and everything, because I'm sure she was sitting there going like, yeah, and sometimes we don't always listen to that voice in the head, which might be a voice from the ancestors or a voice from those that have passed on, whether that's a mom or whether that's a family friend or whatever. Sometimes we don't always listen to that voice, because like I've told y'all before, there are a couple of jobs that the red flags was there, and I'm going like, I don't see that red flag. Everything's cool. and the voice was telling you, the voice was going like, Mark, you know good and well that this is not the one for you. This one's going to drive you into the nut house and everything.
Right.
But you know, sometimes the splendor, the gold, whatever we think, the shine and everything is more than the reality. Because sometimes we got to listen to those voices that are being put out there, because they must let you know in a minute what the truth is and whether you need to go down that path. But sometimes we don't even listen to our own ancestral voices. So I'm sure there were some times that even your mom was sitting there going like, "That ain't the one," and you're sitting there going like, "Oh, I'm good. I'm good.
All right, you better listen.
Well, the word says to be absent from the body is to be present with the Lord. So I know she is absent physically from the body and is present with the Lord, which in itself brings me joy and excitement. But I hear what you guys are saying, because I think in this, we've talked about trauma. I think one of my darkest moments, when I was in the midst of the height of the trauma, in a dark place in my room, sleeping literally every night, 9mm in my hand every night, and just waiting for the hour. You know, is this my hour? Is this my hour where I was going to take my life? And I remember that Saturday morning, and I was lit, had drank so much the night before, passed out, and a voice called to me, which was, as you said, my mother. And she was telling me, "Son, get up." And I'm woke up out of a drunken stupor, looking around my room, and the voice just kept echoing. And I'm like, and I got up, I washed my face, got dressed, and went for a walk around the neighborhood, and found myself back in that hole again later that night. And then that next day, Sunday morning, same thing, but the voice was stronger, more vivid, more intense this day. And I got up, and that was the change in Coach G. That was the day I got back up.
There we go.
So,
Coach G, how much do you think purpose plays in role in that too? Because I was having a conversation actually with another guest on another show. They do an interior designer show, but they talk a lot about wellness and the wellness journey, kind of like we do on this show. And they were talking about how a lot of times, even when a spouse passes and all along those lines, that if the spouse doesn't have a new purpose, because I was telling them that a friend of mine, and actually I talked to him earlier today, is wanting to write his book because he's a musician. He's been a jazz musician for a number of years. So I was telling him what a recorder was, and he's going to get that and put that recording out so that I can from the dictations write and help him write this book of his life journey and everything. And she was saying, this friend of mine, that that's like his new purpose, because a lot of times when a spouse passes, one of the spouses, whether it's the male or the female, we oftentimes hear about them passing almost shortly thereafter because they don't necessarily have that purpose, and they were kind of unified together and everything. Right. So I don't know how close your mom was to the time of your dad, or if your dad's even still around and everything. But I just wondered how much does that purpose plays a role as well?
I love that, Mark. I think it's huge. Dad passed, and probably, I think it was a year and a half later, you could see a change in her after he passed. And she had a brain aneurysm, so she lost function of everything. She was his caregiver, and she got sick because she was stressed out taking care of him every day. And a year and a half later, after he passed, she was gone. She just lost her fight for everything. She was learning to talk again, walk again, eat again, all these functions that we would take for granted, and doing an outstanding job. You talking about a warrior, man? Woo. So I saw her in my entire lifetime as a prayer warrior. Now I actually got to see the warrior fight, and fighting for her life, fighting for back, the little things in life again. But yeah, shortly thereafter, dad passing, she passed. So, but you know what? I want to pivot a little bit because I don't want this to be a show of sorrow, because we don't do that here. Well, this is a show of victory. And I could talk all day about the good things and great things about my mother, who has passed, and she is alive, as both of you have so eloquently spoken, inside of me. And I know so many other people that are listening today resonate to my story, of a loved one, a mother in particular. Me, I feel like an orphan because I've lost both of them within a year and a half of each other. So Father's Day, in a month, it's going to be hard for me too. Dad has been about 5 years. Mom, this is the 3rd year. So that's still relatively new and raw for me. But I want to pivot in a way to celebrate Eugene, because and Mark, I know he's listening. He's busy doing stuff behind the scenes. But, Gene, you're right here, my brother. And number one, I want to say thank you for strengthening me and understanding when I sent the text that there was no judgment, that
Right.
you were my brother's keeper, as
Yeah.
we talk about, and you had my back in a weak moment. And as I sent that text, I sat there and I was like, I can't do that to my brother. And I know he's counting on me today, and I got to get up. So I appreciate the strength that you provided. But you have a remarkable mother.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Remarkable, extraordinary mother, that I just want to take some time now that, mine's gone, and I would give anything to honor her and these flowers that I got for her today, to give to her. But I believe that really taught me that we give those that we love their roses while they are yet alive.
Right.
So, Gene, my brother, give your mother some roses today.
Yeah. uh, I have a surprise for her. I don't want to speak about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
But not even that, but just speak into the woman
sure.
that she is to you.
Yeah. So yeah, man. Okay. Man. Honestly,
because I know I'm not going to be the only misty one here in this show. I get you talking about your mama. So
yeah, man. If I'm completely honest, man, like my mom has been my rock my entire life. I didn't have a great relationship at all with my biological father, and it was spotty quite a bit with my stepfather. But my mom was always my constant. She was the one who, same as you said with your mom. I walk into the house and she's like, "What's wrong?"
Right? They just know, man.
Yeah, exactly. She picks up on my energy every time. Even now to this day, like I'll be going through something and she'll be like, "Hey baby, how's your day going?" Or, "Everything okay today?" And I'm like, and she'll pick up.
You can't even lie, man.
She'll pick up on my response. Like if I say I'm good or something like that, or I'm pretty good, she'll be like, "Pretty good? What's going on?" I'm like,
elaborate on that.
Right. He's right. He's like, nothing major, just, this, that, and the third. Or if I'm really jacked up, she'll know. She'll call me. And, and unfortunately, I usually miss the call. But seeing that she called, it's like, okay, let me call her back. And as soon as she hears my voice the first time, what's wrong? It's like, okay. This, that, and the third. I'm dealing with this or that or the other. Or, my mom is amazing. She's always been so supportive. Always been so supportive. Hell, I mean, we moved. The entire family moved from North Charleston, South Carolina, to Atlanta, so that I would have the opportunity to pursue my singing career, poetry, and acting. Like
Wow.
literally, as soon as I graduated high school, we moved to Stone Mountain, Georgia, for me to pursue my passions. And like she didn't think any two ways about it. Man, she didn't think two ways about it. She's always been my number one biggest fan, my coach, my cheerleader.
Your ride or die.
Yeah, exactly. So that's why, like, with the lady that I'm with now, like, she reminds me of her in that aspect. Like, she's always super supportive, always oh my God, one thing I've always loved about my mom is that, well, I'm sorry, there are a plethora of things, but one of the things is that she always said, pay attention to what people do, not what they say.
Yeah.
And I always now, like, it's like, yeah, you said this, but let me watch some actions. And another thing that she always said, and this started in church, always research what a person says. Don't just take it at face value.
Face value,
always right. Research. Study to show thyself approved. Always. Like, the lessons, like, I study information now on all levels in depth. Like, not only the information that is present, but where it came from. She taught me how to break it down to its smallest common denominator, and break it down and understand each part of it. Because right. Once you understand each part of it, then you understand the whole. You understand how it works together. So I don't even know if she understood that that's what she was teaching me.
That's powerful right there, man. We can do a whole show just on what you just said.
Yeah.
I mean, I think a good teacher, preacher, speaker, when you're preparing, if you really want to be authentic and truthful, you have to break down your context word by word.
Yep.
I know when I was a preacher, before I would get up and minister, I would go back and do like almost a geography lesson. I wanted to understand the region and the time and the season and what was going on. And, we quote a scripture sometimes even, or a phrase, but we don't give the fullness of that. And if you give the fullness of that, there brings greater understanding
right
to that.
In context.
As a
the
coach,
context in which it was used. Yeah.
Right. As a coach, I taught. So, for example, I did a play, and I did it whole, part, whole. So I would teach the whole play one time, start to finish. All the options, and then, as you said, I would break each piece down. We'd even create drills to do each piece, so we would master each piece, and then when we mastered all the different pieces of the play, we bring it all back together and run it again. Whole, part, whole. That was a lesson my mama taught me that I applied in basketball that made me greatly successful.
Yeah. Just amazingly intelligent women. Just, man, like, they set the stage a lot, with that love and that support, like, and then just their intelligence individually. Like, they teach us how to navigate through this world.
Right.
Both parents, but the mothers, they play a special part, because not only do they get you to intellectualize certain things, but they also get you to understand the feelings behind.
Yeah. Well, you mentioned love. Speak into that agape love that you get from your mother.
Man. Oh yeah. Like, my mom is absolutely my first unconditional love. Like, there's never been any condition. Just you be you. And I start doing weird stuff. She'd be like, I don't understand it,
But
I love
okay.
you.
Wait a minute.
She understands
Wait a
it
minute.
later.
Wait a minute, Gene.
She's
You
like,
mean she don't?
oh, now I get it.
Gene, you mean she don't understand the tattoos? She don't get the tattoos, and she don't get some of the other things that you've done
No,
in your life and everything. So she doesn't get that.
no.
I-
Yeah. She was the first person to tell me, Gene, don't cover all your body up with tattoos. I'm like, but Mom, the tattoos have meaning to me. She's like, uh-huh. Don't just don't get no tattoos on your face.
Oh.
I'm like, oh, no worries. Not on my face. On my scalp, maybe. But on my face, nah, I'm good. I
Right.
actually think I'm cute, so I don't want to cover up my face.
Mark, what did you have to say? I know Gene did such a great job speaking on the
No, that
beauty of
mom love it. Like I
visibility.
said, like I alluded to earlier, that mom love and that love that you get from those women figures, because I've had some strong women figures, including some women bosses as well as my aunts and others. So I have a great deal of respect for the women in my life, and there's a lot of them, like y'all said, are in leadership positions. And a lot of times they will give you some advice, and sometimes they'll even tell you, you know, we don't always listen to the advice, but they'll be telling you that that ain't the move and everything. I was actually joking that one ex, and I think I told y'all this before, that as soon as she came into the house, it was trying to claim the house. Mom was letting me know that that was not the one, because she's going like, wait a minute, you don't even know if you like this child yet. And she's over here talking about like, well, when we get married, we're going to move in here. This is going to be my house. And she's going like, I have not even been put in the ground yet. And she's already claiming property and all along those lines. So yeah, Mom was not feeling that and everything. So, you know, I think she still occasionally ask me about that person, because she's going like, wait a minute, you weren't even, can't even put a ring on it, you know. The Beyonce song,
Right.
you know, like, can't even put a ring on it. And she's over there talking about like, well, when we move into this house, we go do this and we go do that. And she goes like, no, y'all ain't, because I didn't sign off on that.
Right.
Lord.
Well, so I know there's so many men. Oh, go ahead, Gene.
No, I'm just saying you can't come take over.
Nah. But you got some people that want to do that. They come into the relationships, they want to take it over. And as you know, Gene, you've been in those situations. I know you've been a coach as well. But you got some folks that think that they're going to come and maneuver and everything. And I'm not saying that you have to, because you also have some family members that will sometimes do the opposite side and not give the room for growth in a relationship. But you got some folks that are trying to claim that space and before they've even honored and earned that space. And that's on
Right.
both the male and the female side. So yeah, we definitely got to be cautious of that tale.
Yeah. But, you know, as we're talking and reflecting, like me on my mom from the past, because she's gone, absent from the body, but definitely not gone. You guys still have your moms, and you reflected beautifully on what they mean to you currently, because they're still yet alive. But I'm thinking about, as we maybe pivot here a little bit, all those single moms
Oh yeah. Well,
out
you know,
there that will probably most likely not be celebrated tomorrow because the dad, you know, is nowhere to be found, and they have young kids, and you know, maybe they don't have the, you know, the means or you know, a way to really celebrate their moms or have an understanding yet of Mother's Day.
hey, but you know, that could be an interesting experience as well, because I know, speaking of that situation, I have, as y'all know, I'm still in that single space, and quite a few of the women that I have dated have been single moms, because the older you get, the more the chances of that happening are going to be greater. And I know that even some of the relationships that I've had, the young ladies got to be known and all along those lines. So as the young ladies were getting to be known and all in that space, then Mom got to know them as well. And the same with some of my brother's exes as well, because I can tell you, even to this day, Mom asked me about a couple of daughters of exes and everything, because she had developed a bond with them. Even though our relationship didn't go anywhere, she developed a bond with them. So I mean, one of them, ironically, her name is Sunday, and Mom will sometimes ask me, well, have you heard from Sunday? It's been ages since I've heard from Sunday, or even her mom, because that didn't end in the best fashion and everything. But you know, Facebook is a wonder, so I will sometimes hear about what's going on through Facebook, or even through her sister, because her sister is involved in the musical community and is actually a involved also in the LGBT community as well. So sometimes I'll be in there and I'll tell them that I bumped into one of the daughters, or found out that this daughter or that daughter is doing. As a matter of fact, my brother's girlfriend and everything, she's a widow, and they're now engaged to my brother. But she's celebrating two major things because, in addition to this being Mother's Day, this is also graduation week for a lot of people
Right,
as
right.
well. And a lot of times Mother's Day is on graduation. So Effie, who has become a family friend, and that is my brother's girlfriend's oldest daughter, because she's got two kids and everything. She just graduated from East Carolina with a degree in teaching. So she'll be doing a lot of teaching and bringing that teaching knowledge to the world. And her brother, Jack, is going to be following kind of in her, well, I think she's a chemical engineer, but in his mother's footstep, because he will be going to North Carolina State majoring in engineering. He just got accepted into that university and
That's
everything.
awesome.
So he'll be going there. So it's just interesting when you see these people that you know, including some of my friends that have gotten to be good friends and now have gotten to know their kids and everything. So sometimes even that uncle figure, you get to be a father figure or an uncle figure as well. So I'm always proud when they're doing amazing things in the community and just glad to be part of that.
Yeah. That actually brings up another point too about those young people out there that are doing the things that you're talking about, but they lost their mother
Right.
at a young age and they've had to go through life without the benefit of their mother, but have yet still been successful. What do you think about that, Gene?
Yeah, I think that's amazing. I mean, to not have that nurturing energy from the mother as you are built up, that it just means it actually means that, generally speaking, that you don't have that emotional aspect, or comfortability or emotional intelligence. So just to even make it through the world,
Yeah,
that nurturing energy from your mother is just astounding.
remarkable. Yeah,
Yeah, exactly. It's astounding. Um, man, and just to even care about people. Like, again, you get most of your empathy from your mother. I mean, that's just how it goes.
right.
So yeah, I take my hat off to those who grew up without a mother for a grand part of their lives, and
No doubt.
still care about people, and
Hey,
still pushing.
Right, man. That's good. That's
yeah, I'm
good.
glad to do that. And I know a lot of other people that have that figure and everything. I did have to tell you, Tisha, I don't know if I ever brought this up before, but I told you that sometimes that trauma can impact us in our life in different ways as well. And I remember that Mom actually pointed out something to me, because I was, this was decades ago, but I think I might have shared this story with you. But I got to the point where I was so being mentally manipulated and everything, that they were afraid that I might be looking at the wrong woman or a different woman and everything. So I was literally looking at the floor and everything. It was actually on a visit to Winston-Salem when Mom was living in Winston-Salem, and I went down and was looking on the ground, and Mom was like, "Mark, why are you looking down on the ground? And what's out there? You see the head or something? What's going on?" And that's when I realized that that girl had done or a woman had done a serious mental number on me and everything, because she's the one that
Oh,
pointed out to me that I was like so afraid of what was going on, that I had gotten to the point that I was looking down and not even trying to look people in the eyes, as they say.
wow. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That we were talking about that in relationship trauma.
Right.
Well, that's a few weeks ago. We were talking about relationship trauma. I remember you talking about that.
That's what I'm saying. But it was Mom that actually recognized it, because, like I said, we were traveling somewhere because Mom was living in Winston-Salem, and she's looking at me like, "Why are you looking at the ground? What's going on?" So she was asking the question, and I had to, like, pause and think about what was going on while I was in that headspace and everything. But she's the
Well,
one that pointed it out.
what would you tell? I don't know. This is kind of a threefold question. We talked a few weeks ago. Yeah, it was a few weeks ago about that we need the threefold person in our lives:
Mhm.
the Paul, the Barabbas, the Timothy,
Right.
as a man. So, what would you tell each one of those men who have lost? Those are three different stages of life.
Mhm.
What would you tell those men today to help them overcome and move forward um, in their lives? What would you tell the Paul, the older gentleman, the more seasoned gentleman who's lost his mother, the Barabbas, who's maybe the middle age, 30s, 40s
Mhm.
age guy who's lost his mother, and then that Timothy, who's the youngster, the 20-year-old or the teenager who's lost his mother.
I mean, for one thing, it's almost like you are expecting it at certain ages and everything, because a young person that loses their mother, that's almost to be expected and everything. But no matter what age we are, none of us really, because we all want to think of the fact that we can live for a long time, and that none of us like to face the fact that we will eventually lose our parents at some point or another. And you definitely don't want to be the one that loses a offspring or all along those lines. But death is a reality and something we all face and have to deal with. So it's just something that you have to get them to understand that how much they gained in that knowledge and everything. Because even some of my older folks that have lost a loved one, I mean, one of my best friends, he lost both his mother and his dad, but he is definitely still ways in just like you were doing. He gets that wisdom that he remembers from his mother and everything. So, and he was actually the caretaker for her. So my good friend Brett Chambers was the caretaker for his mother when she passed away, and he would bring him to events, whether it was an African dance or something else that was going on. And then when she passed away, he's now having to do a lot of the um upkeep. That's even what's going on with my cousins, because they lost their mother and their father, so now they're having to take care of the family house and do some of that kind of things that you oftentimes don't think about. Because a lot of times, unfortunately, and that's one of the things I think I would tell definitely the young people is, or that younger person is, that
The Timothy.
while we don't want to think about it, to be prepared for it and to have a plan of action. Because a lot of times we don't have a plan of action at all for any of these things. I mean, let's be honest. How many of us can honestly say that we know 100% the wishes of our parents? And a lot of times when they pass, then we're scrambling trying to figure out what their wishes were and how to honor the wishes and everything. Because a lot of times it happens so suddenly, or we don't want it to happen, that we try to I hate to put it this way, but we try to almost be like an ostrich with our heads in the sand and everything in that space. But that's a reality, and you need to be aware of what's going on. Like, I know I'm not even sure. I know my brother does, but I'm not even sure that I know, even myself, all of the wishes of my own parents. And I don't know if you do, Gene, and everything along those lines, because it's a hard conversation to have. But
Very hard conversation.
But it's something we probably need to be aware of, because, like I said, we want to think that they will live forever. I know that your mom is closer to my age, and you was hoping that she's gonna be around for 100 or 200, but there's no telling when the reality may hit that it takes us away from us and everything. So we need to be prepared. So that's one thing I would tell all the generations, is to be prepared, because I know that I am not as prepared should something happen. And you probably weren't even prepared, Coach G. Let's be honest. You probably were not prepared, and probably had a lot of those things that you should have had in place in terms of insurance papers, in terms of records, in terms of her wishes and everything, that you might not have even fully known. And I know that you're a smart man, so you might have known more than I'm giving you credit for it. But I know a lot of people do not have those plans in place, or
Right.
not plans.
Dad caught me off guard, so I wasn't as prepared. So I was scrambling to try to find documents, and we had several conversations, so I knew his wishes and different things like that, because I knew he was close to passing. But Mom, I wasn't prepared for. I mean, when she had that brain aneurysm, she could have been gone then, but she lasted another 7-8 years after that. So I'd gotten used to her again, to being here. Had I lost her in that moment, that would have been one thing. But to have her that close to death, and then to be in the land of the living was something else. So I was able to prepare better for her situation. But Gene, I'm going to throw the same question at you. I'm interested to hear what you have to say. We talked a few weeks ago, maybe a month or so ago, about a whole man needing the threefold person, that Paul, that Barabbas, that Timothy. So the Paul, the man that pours into you, speaks life into you. The Barabbas is your boy, your brother, your road dog. And then Timothy is the younger man, or less experienced man, that you speak into. What would you tell all three of those? Because those are really different phases or stages in life. What would you tell those three gentlemen today, those young warriors, young kings that have lost their mother and are hurting today, as I am, and hurting tomorrow, even more so, as we honor our mothers?
Yeah. So I mean, I would say overall the message would be, understand that even though she's not there with you physically, she's still very much there with you spiritually. Uh, I know that from relatives that I have, I smell their scent. Like, you know, my
Wow.
grandmother, my nana, like I still I'll talk out loud and I hear her, you know, say something to me, and it's like in her voice with her energy, you know. I'll have the smell of the cigarette that she used to smoke, or the coffee that she used to drink, or the Pepsis that she loved. You know, like and it lets me know that again, like because even though they're not here with us in the physical, they're still absolutely here with us.
Right.
You know, their wisdom, the wisdom that they imparted, you know, is infinite. Like
It's
never
eternal. Right.
right. And then just like how they molded you, you know, as a person just by their presence, by them being themselves. So just rest in their energy, knowing that they are there to guide you at all times.
Mm-hmm.
Like when you feel uncertain, just take a step back and kind of question in your mind, what would my mom say?
Right.
You know?
Exactly.
Like I sit back sometimes and I what would Nana tell me right now with this situation? And then when I hear it, it's like that makes sense.
Yeah.
You know. And it's the same with your mother. You know, there was an infinite, an abundant amount of information and knowledge and wisdom that she imparted to you as she was molding you,
Mm-hmm.
you know, raising you up. So rest in that, knowing that you are never alone.
Right.
Never alone. She's always there with you. Just the knowledge that she gave you is presence in itself.
You know, they're always there with you and everything. Like you said, because I had a aunt that was very much with me until she passed, and she passed after having that long fight with MS and all along those lines. But definitely, I still somewhere here, and that's the one I was referring to. That her sons are taking care of some of that family property. But yeah, Aunt Kellen, I still hear her voice, and sometimes she would even be kind of sassy in her own way. Because when my brother might be saying something that was kind of be fun or having fun with her and everything, and yeah, she might have a sassy retort, and the same with her husband, and they both have passed on and all of those lines. But you know, one thing that I find very difficult, I don't know how y'all handle it, and I'd love to hear your thoughts about this, is we're talking about the loss of a mother, but you know, sometimes these folks that are being lost and we're thinking about grief, there are also some tremendous young people because that are lost, and sometimes you heard that expression much too soon, and sometimes there can be women that are lost much too soon. I'm actually thinking about a gentleman recently, and he actually did a documentary on me that was called the Cultural Ministry of Durham, because it's like a nickname that some friends of mine put out there of me and all along those lines. But he just recently passed away, and all along those lines. And I want to say he was in his late 30s or early 40s, so he was a up and coming professor and everything. So you can only imagine what I think his parents were still living. So you can only imagine what it would be like for them to be losing on the opposite side somebody that seemed to have such promise. He had just recently become a professor over at North Carolina Central University and had all this great promise that was ahead of him and all along those lines. And I think it was a sudden thing that happened, but I don't think it was a crime element that took him away with some sort of illness, from what I understand, or like basic understanding of what took place and everything. I may find out differently at some point, but you just are amazed, because I know Brian Horton, who was a jazz musician, and there was another one that went and was involved in a car wreck. So sometimes when these young people are gone so soon, you're just like, that even adds to that grief, because you're going like, just think of that promise and the dreams unrealized that they still had in their ambition level and what they were hoping to do, and all in that space. So that's always something that really moves me and everything. But to your point, I am amazed sometimes at how long people can last with these terminal illnesses. I talked before about Michelle Gonzalez Green, who had a terminal illness and passed not that long ago, a few years ago, but she lived with that illness and was determined to live past what the doctor told her she was going to live and everything. I remember Charmaine Jocelyn McKissick, because Charmaine is still around, that's her sister, but Jocelyn McKissick, or as we used to call her, Makeda, and she was involved in the education space and everything. But she had a aneurysm, kind of like what you were talking about with your mom at a Sweet Honey in the Rock concert. And I want to say she lived for 10 or 15 years after that aneurysm and all along those lines before she passed away and everything. So sometimes it's amazing the fact that the willpower and the resilience, and the fact that a lot of times people have missions that they still feel that they have to accomplish on this earthly plane and everything. And until those missions are accomplished, they're not going to leave. Because how many of us have heard about the person that literally is waiting for the family member to come there before they'll make that cross over the path because they want to say that last goodbye and everything? Because I've even said that happened with my granddad on my mom's side, that he was at the UNC hospital, and it seemed at that time that Aunt Carolyn was living in New Jersey. She was not dealing with MS and everything, but it seems like he wanted to see her come down before he decided to cross over. And there was a couple of family members that he wanted to see as well. And then he went ahead and went on the peaceful rides into the heavens and everything along those lines. But that's just amazing.
Rides into the heavens. I love it.
Yeah.
That's good stuff.
Yeah. I can only imagine, and I hope to never experience losing one of my children before I go. To those who have lost a child, I send lots of love. That's something I can, man. That's just the thought alone is devastating. Man, like I said, I send out lots of love and positive energy toward and healing energy for those who experience that, because like the saying goes, you're not supposed to outlive your children. Man.
Coach, just really quickly, Coach, if you're still there and everything, looks like you might have frozen, or maybe you got some thoughts around it, Gene, and everything. But it's really sad when it happens, and it is because of actions that are not of the person and all along those lines. Because I know here in Durham, we just had some shootouts and all along those lines. And actually, there was an incident in my own apartment complex where there was a shootout, and the gentleman, there were 4 people that were shot, and one of them died, and they all took themselves to the hospital and all along those lines. So when we see these young people that are, not having direction or whatever, and they sometimes are taken away much too early. And some of those are folks that have parents as well and everything. Because I mean, one of the most devastating things I ever saw was a family friend, and she's now gone into heaven as well. But I remember a person was very much involved in our activism community here and everything, and her son took his life when he was in high school because he was being bullied, he was being tortured, and everything along those lines. So I can only imagine what she was going through when she found that out, and even with his siblings, because he had siblings, were going out because he was being picked on, and I think they were going to a Quaker school or something like that. But he chose to take his own life because he was feeling that there was no other escape. And I can only imagine what that mother went through. And she became an advocate for suicide prevention and other kind of work before she passed on herself.
Well, I mean, you guys know my story, A Journey of a Warrior. I've lost 3.
Yeah.
3 spiritual sons, or bonus sons, as Gene calls them. I love that expression. That, haunts me on Father's Day more than fun. I mean, I know it affects their wives on Mother's Day because their loved one is gone, not there to celebrate them with their children. But I think even more so on Father's Day for them, that the leader of that household is now gone. And in 2 of the situations, I mean, you talking about miraculous changes in their lives, that were in the streets and living that life and turned themselves around and got educated and were moving forward, doing great things in their lives. And then the past reach back and take them, was just, for me, so tragic, thinking about where they would be today and what they would be doing, and the greatness that was lost in their passing. So yeah, that one's hard for me too. I can definitely relate and feel to that. So
and Coach, sometimes it's not even violence that takes them away or illness that takes them away. I remember a friend of mine that was in the university, and I remember he was going, I think, to just enjoy Mother Nature, and he was going to a lake and everything. And I think he was asthmatic, so he had like I think one of those asthma attacks, and he
Oh
drowned. He
man.
was young. I think he was just either in college or freshly out of college. I would say he was in his like late teens or early 20s at the time that this happened, and it was decades ago. But it still resonates with me the fact that he was just going out there to enjoy what Mother Nature has to offer, and he had one of those attacks and was not able to recover. So, and yeah, I can only imagine what it would have been like for his mother to get that
Right.
call and to have to deal with that, and all along those lines, and to think about all the that promise lost, like you just said earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so that's exactly why, like, I am a huge advocate of living every day like it's your last, because
Spit that wisdom,
never
brother.
know. You never know when it's going to end. So if you live every day to the fullest, then at least when you pass with no regrets. And that's my thing. Like every day, at the end of each day, I do an inventory of the day that I had and the things that I did well, the things that I could have done better. And then and I program into my mind, okay, tomorrow I'm gonna do better if I see it. But at least I've balanced my checkbook. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
As it pertains to understanding
Life.
my actions,
Right.
right, and the consequences that come with it. So yeah, just you have to live. Like one of my favorite, I got really deep into studying Buddhism around like 15, 16 or so. And one of the laws that stuck out to me is the law of impermanence. Like everything in life is going to change. Everything that has a beginning has an end. Nothing stays the same. Everything is impermanent. So understand that, and
Mm.
and be present in the moment to, in essence, get the best out of that very moment, and then just be adaptable as things change. Because I mean, Murphy's law. Anything that can go wrong will go wrong.
We'll go
So
wrong. Right.
so just be prepared for that. And when you stay with that mindset that everything is destined to change. What happened last time is not guaranteed to happen this time. If it does, cool.
Right. Right.
But if it doesn't, then I'm prepared for whatever.
Mm.
And
Yeah,
so
along
I
those
got
same
so
lines and everything, I was just thinking that how many of, because another show is on hiatus right now and everything, but Billy Graham, not that Billy Graham, but Billy Graham that's on the network is out of Texas. He oftentimes talked about how many folks have left their dreams in the graveyard and all along those lines. That's actually kind of his theme and everything is when he's talking about, because he's a business coach as well, and how many of us actually don't pursue those dreams, and then those dreams wind up going with us into the graveyard and all along those lines. So you need to go ahead and pursue those dreams while you are able to do the dreams
yeah,
in this planet and in this time, and not just kind of defer the dreams. Because I mean, we all know about raising in the sun and
dream
that dream
deferred,
deferred
yeah,
and
dream
Mm-hmm.
all along
deferred.
those lines. But too often they are too deferred, and then we don't actually have the reality, and
Nice and
it's not going to do
huge.
you any good in the graveyard and all along those lines. So just think about all those dreams that were unaccomplished because the people were not willing to try to pursue them.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
Gene, stay in that vein where you're in, man. But talk about the weight of regret.
Oh man.
So you talked about
Yeah.
trauma today,
Right. Right.
and
Right.
just the weight of those. I'm imagining the weight of those that we've lost, the regret that they possibly could have, and even us that are living, the regret that we have
Right.
that we didn't share our heart, share our feelings, didn't
Right.
ask for forgiveness, didn't gain understanding. So, what does that mean to you? The regret in that
Right.
space.
Yeah. So like the pain of regret long term ends up becoming bitterness and resentment. That creates a chasm uh, between you connecting to your purpose and the output that you have in life.
Mm-hmm.
You know, um, and again, like I said, it's just like you know what you're here for. We all have an inkling. You may not know exactly full clear what you're here to do, but you know that there's something that you enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
And what you enjoy is linked to your passion and your purpose. So when you ignore your passion and your purpose, um, you end up living a life full of regret, bitterness, resentment, and usually people who are like that either end up living a long time and just end up being cantankerous long term, or you die from some sort of disease because you've internalized so much suppression.
Negativity. Yeah.
So much negativity and suppression of your emotions that they become toxic, and your energy field becomes a swamp. So all that you do is you attract things that will devour you. Anacondas, you have alligators and crocodiles, you have piranha. I mean, you have all of that. And then you have water that is not breathing.
My energy field becomes a swamp. Woo, if that ain't a tweet.
I mean, you know, I just said what came to me, man. But man, yeah, like seriously, like an energy that realizing that living your fullest life, it not only gives you like the capacity of an ocean, but oceans feed into rivers, which feed into lakes, which feed into oceans, which feed into lakes, which feeds into the ocean. You know what I'm saying? So it's a exactly circle of life. But when you push yourself down and stifle yourself, your energy becomes blocked off. So all you can do is recreate versions of what you have to a deeper level. So you have dysfunction and chaos, and it just replicates over and over again until it becomes, again, a land of things that try to devour themselves. That's what cancer is.
Mm-hmm.
That's what AIDS is. It's the body fighting itself, the entity destroying itself, as opposed to something outside of itself destroying it. It is within itself destroying
inside
itself.
out.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. But you deep today, bro. You spitting some witticisms and some tweets out here, and woo, man. I was like, I was telling you before the show, I was like, bro, I don't have it today, man. But
you got some good humor. You got some good humor. You got some good jokes, and we even got through a whole show without going down the X path and everything.
Right.
So we definitely did not go down that path at all.
I thought we did a little bit earlier.
Oh, what? No, we did not.
No. Okay, maybe we got a little PG-13.
PG-13, baby.
Hey, I know our time is short. I want to do this real quick, and I'm gonna invite you guys to say something too. But this is what I've been working on this week for my mother that I'm posting tomorrow, along with some pictures and things like that. So, happy Mother's Day to the greatest mother a young Black man could ever have. I miss you so much that words can't even begin to explain or express how I feel. I long for your smile, your hugs, your wisdom, your presence, and most importantly, your prayers. While I know you're in a better place in heaven, all the amazing and powerful things that you taught me, spoke over me, and imparted me in me still exist as I walk them out every day. Thank you, Mama, for teaching me how to be a godly man, a good man to all people, and a prayer warrior. Your legacy of greatness is active in me, and I'm very thankful to Almighty God that I was born to you as your son. Rest well, beautiful Black Queen, as you've earned your rewards. I love you, Mama, until my last breath on this earth. Rest in heaven, rest in power, rest in peace.
That is beautiful.
No, that was totally beautiful. And definitely, I know she heard that message as well from up there in heaven. I have no doubt about that. So she definitely heard that message, and that was a very powerful message that is definitely letting folks know how much that your mother meant to you and how much she's still a factor in your life.
Yeah, that was beautiful.
Yeah. Shout out to Danica Lewis. It's being a visitor for us today. It's speaking out on our page. So thank you for sharing that comment, Danica Lewis. We love you and we appreciate you, sister. Happy Mother's Day if you were a mother.
That's my baby right there. She's a mother.
Oh, is she?
That's
Okay.
my baby right there.
Okay. Didn't know who that was, but now. Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome.
All right, Marcus, on you, brother.
Sure. Happy Mother's Day to all those mothers out there, like you said, even those single mothers that are gonna have some hard times out there. Because, like I said, there's even some people that are trying to get in that relationship space. That are in that single motherhood space as well. So definitely happy Mother's Day to all the mothers, whether you are still with your family or and your other half, or even if you're out there alone as well. So happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there and to all the people that are even in that maternal role, because we do know that sometimes even there are males that have to play that mother role as well. So happy Mother's Day to all those people that are doing the maternal role totally and all along those lines.
Amen. Amen. Close us out, brother. Close us out.
Give me a second, y'all. I'm trying to find the lyrics to a song.
Come on, brother. Close us out strong. Close us out strong.
You know.
Yeah, you didn't know I had a little something to belt out, did you? Make a little tune. Oh, this is gonna be good. This is gonna be good.
All right. All right. So this is for all the mothers, my mom, Danica and Vivian, especially. I'm just gonna sing the chorus. So backstory. My best friends and I, one day on Mother's Day, we got together and we sang this song for our mothers.
Oh, so that's what's up, man.
Yeah. So it's Mama by Boys and Men.
Okay. That song wrecks me.
Mama, you know I love you. Mommy, you're the queen of my heart. Your love is like tears from the start. Mama, I just want you to know loving you is like food to my soul. Yeah. Come on.
Yeah, I'm gonna go deep.
Come on, G, come on.
I'll be listening to that a lot tomorrow, man.
Gene dropped the bomb as always. He just did his thing. He did a great thing. Hit the bomb. All on those lines. You know, I'm actually got a bunch of parents over here because, like I said, we got the Durham Children's Choir, so a bunch of parents, including some mothers, are here, and all along those lines. So I think we'll close out with your stand-up because a lot of people need to stand up as well. So I think we'll go out with stand-up, but definitely another powerful show, and I'm glad we were able to help you in this moment, Coach G, and all along those lines. Because definitely, I know that I appreciate you, and I've appreciated getting to know you over these last couple of months and everything. So I can see you another brother from another mother, and all along those lines. So definitely, I have a great deal of respect for both you and Gene, and look forward to seeing what we're going to be talking about next week. And of course, I'll be talking to Gene and his mom on tomorrow for that show that they do that deals with the whole thing of bullying, which is Where Is the Love. But definitely right now we're going to get on out of here. Now we're seeing some others from the Latin American population, because Kay Pasa O'Hare will be on Saturday on Sunday as well. So those will be some Latin moms, because I think that they're all mothers, because even the matter of fact, one of them just recently became a grandmother, and all along those lines. So
congratulations!
Just looking forward to having that conversation with them tomorrow as well. But right now, let's get out of here with Stand Up.
All right, it's your boy Coach G. Thanks, Danica.
And I'm proud of you, Barry. The police took
took another life. Gunshots ring out, even though he had his hands held high. Yo, I'm sick and tired to walk my brother's chalk lines. Need to come together, set a plan, and then mobilize. Oh, what are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? What are we gonna do about all the hell that we're going through? Now stand up, shout out into the walls of Babel on the feet. Stand up, come on y'all, and let's make some history. Stand up, rise up and know you ain't gotta follow, you can lead. Stand up y'all, we can do this, you and me. Monsanto monopolized the whole grocery line. So we all gon' have 12 toes, 3 thumbs, 3 lives. If we keep being sheep, these wolves are gon' rob us blind. Let's occupy our mind space, cause the revolution won't be televised. Oh, what are we gon' do? What are we gonna do? What are we gonna do about all the hell that we're going through? Now stand up, shout out into the walls of Babel on the feet. Stand up, y'all, we can do this, you and me. Stand up, rise up and know you ain't gotta follow, you can lead. Stand up, y'all, we can do this, you and me. Oh, the mercy me. The government should nurture your sympathy. When will all these wars be done? Hopefully before another moment has the money. Yeah. Before another mother has the money person. Shout out into the walls of Babel on the feet. Stand up, come on y'all, and let's make some history. Stand up, rise up, you know you ain't gotta follow, you can lead. Stand up, y'all, we can